Welcome, everybody. It's really special to have you here, especially somehow today. Every day is a different day in the Ukraine, but I heard from Daria, and she will share a bit more, that today was not an easy day, to say the least. And I feel very touched that we're coming here together in this Ukraine support project, which is part of an ongoing stream that is coming through the work of Thomas Hübel and the non-for-profit work of the Pocket Project. My name is Kosha. I lead the Pocket Project at the moment, and we've had an ongoing process this year of inviting 110 Ukrainians to participate in our trauma-informed leadership course. We've also been able to partner with another organization to offer further training for psychologists and therapists, Ukrainian psychologists and therapists, to learn more about how to work in war situations. And now we're continuing. We're very happy to continue in this way to offer a project which offers psychosocial support, we can say, to Ukrainians anywhere in the world. There is a focus in the project on Germany, Ukrainians in Germany, but that's just where we are receiving, that's the work that we are receiving some funding for. But we are offering it anywhere in the world, and we're also offering support for those people who are supporting Ukrainian refugees and Ukrainians. So, and I will share a bit more later. I just want to thank you all for being here and being interested in giving to and supporting this project. And I will pass over to you, Daria. So just to say maybe a few words to Daria, she has been working with us in the Pocket Project since April, I believe. And she has been just incredible, a ray of light and generosity, even, you know, as she goes through a very challenging time in her life, as all of you in the Ukraine are. So huge thank you to Daria for everything you bring to the Pocket Project, and over to you.
Thank you, Kosha, for such a warm introduction. I'm so glad to be here today because for me, this Ukraine support project gets more and more needed in Ukraine because every day, every week brings something new trauma, new stress, new polarization. So there is a huge need in Ukraine now for support and for spaces in which we can feel safe and digest, because it's a lot to digest here. We have new waves of bombing in Ukraine since the 10th of October. So I feel like it will bring a new wave of refugees also to the Europe. And this is why our project, Ukraine Support Project, may be quite needed and efficient also. And also, I wanted to mention that right now in Ukraine, around 40% of our electrical power is off because of missiles, attacks, bombings, and sometimes we have quite a bad connection because of this electricity lag. So if we will drop off this meeting, this is fine because we don't have internet connection this way. So I just wanted to mention it also so you know. And generally, I received quite a huge wave of gratitude and thanks from Ukrainian refugees and therapists, because this project kind of connects Ukrainian people also between each other, which is really needed now. And it also connects Ukrainian people to the wider scope of people that are not in the war situation, which is also meaningful because we need that fresh air and fresh sight maybe at our situation. So with that gratitude, pass it back to you, Kosha. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daria. Yeah, and as we're here, I just also want to give thanks to Melanie, who's here to translate to German, if anybody needs it. Melanie, die hier ist, auf Deutsch zu übersetzen, falls jemand das braucht. And to Olena, who has been with us now for several months, translating to Ukrainian, together with Daria alone. And just a huge thank you to you, Olena, for your beautiful service. And I also want to welcome Ben, who is our tech host today. And usually we have Scott, but we found that as we prepare for the Ukraine support project, we need more tech support also. And Ben has joined the team. So warm welcome to you, Ben. Yeah, so let's start with a attunement together, and consciously acknowledge that we're here, as Daria said, as people who are in a war situation, and people who are not in a war situation, who are in places where, as Ben said just before the call, it feels unfair that some of us are in a situation that feels existentially threatening, and others are in spaces where it's safe, in countries where it's relatively safe. So just acknowledging that we have that here in the space, and that we're coming together with our love and care for each other and caring. Yeah. So just take a moment to arrive more fully inside yourself first. You might have had a very full day. I'm also aware that it's already very late in Ukraine. I'm currently in Scotland. In Germany, it's 8 o'clock. In Ukraine, it's 9:15, right? It's late. Yeah, so you've had very full days. You might be feeling a bit tired. And let's just take a moment to come back to our breath. And allow our breath to help us arrive more deeply in our bodies. Let's see whether we can meet our bodies exactly how our bodies are right now. Some of us might feel it not so easy to land deeply because there is stress in our bodies. And let's see whether together we can support each other to land more deeply. Also notice the bigger space around stress, anxiety, that there is also a bigger space. And that as we are here together, that bigger space becomes more accessible for all of us. Using our breath to connect to our feet, feeling our feet on the ground. Our legs, allowing ourselves to sit more fully. Allow our bellies to soften a bit. Allow our shoulders to relax a bit more. And take a moment to connect our hearts. And just feel that this is a place of safety here right now, where we're reaching out to each other with care, acknowledging the different feelings that might be here in the space. Grief, fear, anger, love, sadness, whatever is alive. And that these feelings connect us as human beings. And let's also connect to our higher selves that brought us here tonight. Brought us to think that we might have something to offer to the Ukraine Support Project. Maybe as we sit here and we are in a place of connecting upwards also to our higher self, we could just share a prayer for safety. For all of you here on the call from Ukraine especially, and all those you love and you care for, and all the other beautiful people that are connected to the project. Just sending a prayer for safety. Yeah, and then let's slowly open our eyes whenever you're ready. If you like, you could turn on your video. If your video is not on, you're warmly invited. And we'll take a moment to see each other more deeply. And in the Pocket Project, in Thomas's work, we have a practice which we call I Feel You, Feeling Me, where we allow our feeling our own nervous systems that we have just opened into. And while keeping that online, we also, you might just choose one other person who is here for now. And you allow your nervous system to connect to the nervous system of the other person, to feel the nervous system of the other person. And to feel their nervous system feeling someone else here. And you might connect to somebody else, maybe someone you don't know. And then you might just take a moment to feel us as a group. Mixture of Ukrainians, non-Ukrainians here on this call. Yeah, and tonight is the second time that we do this introduction call, like just sharing some information about the project, about the organizational flow. We're recording it because not everybody is able to be here for these calls. And we hope that's okay for you. You can always let us know if it's for some reason not safe for you. You don't feel safe having your name visible here, because we can also just share the sound, you know. So just let us know. And we want to share just a few basic pieces of information about the project, and then we want to open to your not just questions, but also your thoughts about what would be helpful for the project. You know, we're learning together and we're developing together. Like, the whole project has grown out of feedback from especially you Ukrainians who participated in the trauma-informed leadership course, because one thing we really learned was that there was a need to be active, to be involved, and also a need to be able to earn some income in the Ukraine. And so that's the reason we really fundraise, to be able to offer some small payment for Ukrainians who are supporting. Yeah, and another feedback that we received was that many of you wish for more supervision, especially as psychologists and therapists in Ukraine who are suddenly confronted with a very different situation that your clients are in also. But also, you know, you yourself are also in that situation. So, and ask for more supervision and support. And we're doing our best to respond to that also as part of this project. Yeah, and Daria, is there anything else you would like to add at this point?
I feel like I agree with you. All good now.
Okay, so in that case, we want to show you something that we couldn't share last week because we weren't ready with it. But the project started with a needs assessment that we did. So we asked both Ukrainians and volunteers who are supporting Ukrainians to say, what would you most need? And we just want to share the results of this needs assessment with you. So I want to thank Sunita, our wonderful team member who prepared this for us with Daria for tonight, to be able to show you. So here you go. And I think on your screen, you can actually make this, you know, have more people on your screen. You can shift it around to make it bigger, smaller. So just so you see, so we had 112 responses from Ukrainians. Some of those are also non-Ukrainian refugees from the Ukraine or from Ukraine. So these are, for instance, we have a little community of African students who were studying in Ukraine and then had to flee and are now in Germany. But we have 22.3 of the 112 responses we received are from Ukrainians in the Ukraine, and 37.5 were from Ukrainian refugees in Germany, and 37.5% Ukrainian refugees elsewhere. And this is the wish of people, of what kind of sessions they would most want. And we were quite surprised by this. This is not what we expected. So I'm sorry if this is a bit small. Is it a bit small for you? I just see one or two people putting on their glasses. So we have nearly 42%, like very high percentage, saying that what I most want is an introduction to some of the basic skills to like what we just did, I feel you feeling me, but also self-regulation, grounding, co-regulation, like really learning the skills to be able to work with the stress and anxiety of everyday survival and living, to learn that, so that you always carry it with you wherever you go. And then we had a very high percentage wanting sessions that are held by women, especially for women. And then, as you see, a very high percentage of Ukrainians really wanting therapy from a Ukrainian psychologist or therapist. But also a lot of people wanting English coaching, which is also interesting. So Ukrainians longing for English coaching. And then we have group therapy, group coaching, one-on-one therapy in English without translation. And then we also have people wanting it with translation. So we will be able to offer translation. Yeah, and people wanting group supervision, global social witnessing events, etc. Yeah. But there's also a wish for, therapy in German with translation. So there's also a wish by a few for sessions by men for men. So we can offer all of these, but this just gives us an idea of what is most asked for. And then we had a similar or the same very similar needs assessment for people who are volunteering, supporting Ukrainians in the Ukraine or Ukrainians in Germany. You see that we had nearly 51% of people are in Germany, and these were 55 responses. And interestingly, so sensitive. So again, we have the biggest wish for basic skills training. So we're going to offer quite a bit of that. Then there is a much higher wish for global social witnessing events on the war, and a very high wish for group coaching sessions. Yeah, and you also see that sessions for women by women, also here there's quite a high wish. But here we have much higher wish for coaching sessions in German. Yeah, and a much higher wish also for sessions for men by men. Yeah. So this was what we got back from the needs assessment. And thank you to everyone. Some of you might have taken part in this needs assessment. And I'll say a few words about how the project will run, and I hope, Daria, that you will help me. So currently we've got a beautiful amount of applications from Ukrainian psychologists, therapists, and also coaches. We have, I think, 48 or 49 applications. So that's wonderful. And we've already realized that actually the funds that we received is not enough. And we would like to do a fundraising to be able to offer, because we only received funding for around 10 to 17. But actually we think the need is there and we would love to do this. So we're looking for additional funds to make it possible for more of you to be part of this project. And we're just starting to work on that. And we've also got applications from some of our therapists and coaches and facilitators from the Thomas Hübel field, from the Pocket Project field. And there we're really still looking for more people. So just for those of you who come from the assistance groups of Thomas, do reach out, invite others, because for all of us, I know it's a very busy time, these pre-Christmas, October, November, December are very busy months. This project is coming quite suddenly. People are already full, but we're getting there. So, but we still have space for more people. And we would also like this project actually to become part of an ongoing project of the Pocket Project. So we had a similar project in 2020 when COVID started, and we had what was called the COVID Aid Project, where we offered online calls for co-regulation to people who were suddenly finding themselves in isolation and having a hard time coping, but also for doctors, nurses, people on the front line of medical care that were under very high stress. And so this is now the second time that we're following a similar model. We're setting it up technically a bit more grounded, and we're wanting to evolve this into a global support project from the Pocket Project, where we build a body of people who are willing to attend to the world wherever the need is greatest, so that when there is a crisis, another war breaking out, that we are able to say, okay, let's see, how can we offer support here? And right now we're with Ukraine. This is where our focus is for as long as it takes. Yeah. And with the applications, because of we're putting it up on a professional level. So we need everyone who wants to volunteer and offer their support to fill out the form that I know all of the Ukrainians here will already have filled out. Maybe not all the others here have already filled it out, but maybe you have. But we need you to fill out the form. You need to upload your CV, your certificates, and your experience as a professional, also your experience in Thomas Fields. And on the basis of that, and with the support also of some of the very senior assistants and Thomas himself, our main aim is really to keep everyone safe. So we will do our best to assign spaces and assignments for everybody that really fit your skill set. The main aim in this project is not to provide in-depth therapy and deep therapeutic journeys. We don't have the capacity for that, but to offer sessions that are safe, that provide a space for relationality, that offer the possibility for a nervous system to relax more, to ground, to find some rest, and to resource itself. That's what we're aiming for, both with coaching sessions and therapeutic sessions. And we've developed some guidelines, which we will send out to you after this call. We're also very open to receiving feedback from you on those guidelines. You know, what do you feel is not helpful enough? What is helpful? And yeah, there will then actually be, so we will work through the applications, and we hope to let you know by Friday on this weekend whether you are part of the first wave of people who will start participating in the project. And then we have 2 systems that will be set up. One system is the offering of group offerings, group sessions. So this will be a particular group of people. And these we will have publicly available as part of our event system on the Pocket Project website. And there can be group sessions for Ukrainians in Ukrainian, group sessions for German in German, group sessions for women by women, sessions that are supervision sessions or skills training. We'll call those community of practice sessions. And they will all be publicly available. So people from the public who belong to the group that the invitation goes out for can sign up for a particular group session. And you can state what is the maximum of participants for this session that I would welcome. Yeah. And then we will also offer one-on-one sessions. For that, we will have a forum on the website where people can apply for a one-on-one coaching session or a one-on-one therapy session. And we will then, we're wanting to set this up via Telegram. We believe that many people also in the Ukraine use Telegram at the moment because it's one of the safer chat systems. And we will send out through Telegram and saying this kind of person is needing this kind of session, who would like to say yes to this? And the first person to respond can then communicate directly to that person. We will put you in direct contact and you can make your own appointment with that person and meet them. And after each session, there will be a very short feedback form to fill in so that we know the session took place. And we know that there will be also a short feedback. Yeah. And I'm just looking. Yes, one more thing is that we'll actually need you to sign a small contract. Maybe not all of the volunteers, but definitely the volunteers who live in Germany will need you to sign a volunteer contract. And for German or for any volunteers who live in Germany, we're able to offer you a very, very small stipend. This is part of the German support for volunteering, which is only like a small sum of money, but we would like to offer that to you. But this only works for people living in Germany. Yeah, all other volunteers from elsewhere are offering a gift to us. I think that's really it from my side. Daria, what have I forgotten, or what would you like to add?
Maybe just to clarify, because I've got those questions from Ukrainians that have filled out type form. Ukrainians will receive fundings also, so German volunteers and Ukrainian therapists, just to make it super clear. And I feel like this is it. Maybe I can just make a little summary. So on our events page, we will post group events, and one-to-one events will be managed in the Telegram because we find this is the safest and maybe the most convenient option for us. And we will need to sign a small contract. And I believe this is it.
Yeah, maybe to make it even more concrete, like Ukrainian therapists and coaches will receive 25 euro for a 1 hour session, a one-on-one session. And if you offer a group session, you will receive 40 euro. So that would usually be for 1.5 hours. So it's not a high pay. It's somewhere in between. Yeah.
Yeah, it's middle
It's
class.
yeah.
And I also wanted to mention that we will provide guidelines for the group and one-on-one sessions, so it will get maybe a bit even more clear what are the guidelines and how to conduct a meeting. So that will be also stated.
Yeah, and one big part of the guidelines is that we ask everybody to stay within their professional training and the ethical guidelines of their profession. So we don't expect therapists who've never conducted group therapy to offer group sessions, full stop. You know, if you're not a practiced and experienced group facilitator, please do not offer group sessions. So we're also needing each of us to be very self-responsible here. And also in the background, we will be also, you know, keep noticing, like, you know, what is your CV, what is your experience, and just making sure that it's in accordance. And we might just come back to you with a question if we have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention that last time we had a question about language, Russian and Ukrainian language. Maybe it's that would be nice for us to mention it now. That for now, I believe that we've came up with something that therapists and clients communicated. So when client sets a request, he or she states that I want Russian speaking therapist or something like that. So it will also be communicated, just in case you wanted to ask this question. We've talked about it last time, and this is, I believe, what we've came up with. What do you think, Kosha?
Yeah, but on the website, we will only communicate in Ukrainian, in English and German. So we're not inviting people who need the Russian language. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
But if it comes up, it's there. Yeah, good. Clara, welcome. I see that you just joined, so you've missed most of it, but we have a recording which you can look at. Hey, dear. So over to you all. Any questions you might have, or also just anything you would like to share. And we don't need, just to let you also know, this call doesn't have to be 90-minute call. It can just be an hour, or, you know, just whatever we need. So we don't need to fill the time, but we want to offer just a space for you. And you can post your questions. You can write in the chat, but you are very, very welcome to speak in the main room in Ukrainian, your question, or whichever language you prefer, in German, in English, and I can translate from German, and Daria can translate from Ukrainian. Yeah. Do you have to install Telegram? Adelheid, I'm not sure. I mean, this is what our Ukrainian friends mainly use for safety. So it might be easiest for us all to install it and all of us to use Telegram. But I know that in German, I mean, I now have Signal, Threema, Telegram, WhatsApp, and I've become used to it. I don't mind anymore. First, I thought this is absolutely crazy. Now I don't even mind anymore. But I don't know yet. I mean, there's quite a few things that we need to find out as we walk together. Yeah, thank you.
Доброго вечора. Можна тоді питання?
Вітаю, Богдана. Hello, Bogdana. Bogdana is asking if she
Hello.
can put a question on. Sure.
Я
Yeah.
хочу і мені зачекати, так?
Ну, добре. Починайте.
Я хотіла запитати, бо я зараз дуже багато проєктів дійсно і заповнюю ті аплікаційні форми. Чи ще потрібно раз заповнити, бо дійсно так не пригадую, чи це була повна, чи це якась коротка була інформація, і які мають бути вимоги, тому що, перепрошую, запізнила трошки.
Все
на
добре,
цю
дякую. Я перекладу, добре?
Так.
Дякую. So Bogdana is asking about application form because she filled in the type form. I believe she's not quite sure. And she asks what are the criteria on which we choose who will be in the first wave and if she needs to fill in something else.
Yeah, I think that one thing we will look at, so we would, the people who have done the trauma-informed leadership course with us, who were part of that, will know a bit more about this field. So that might be an aspect. And then just that you have your professional background. So do you have a coaching background? Do you have a background as a therapist and psychologist? And in general, I would say that our aim is to offer opportunities to everyone, and we're still figuring this out. But we will, the first sorting, like to see, will be by professional education experience in that profession, and whether you have some experience already of this particular field that we are also working with in the Pocket Project. So participation in the trauma-informed leadership course is definitely a bonus also.
Чи я можу тоді залишити в чаті посилання на свій сайт? Там дійсно дуже стисло, коротко і все інформативно, і зі всіма дипломами. Хоча дійсно травмофокус-терапії в Віденській школі зараз навчаюсь за час війни, і МДР, техніка. Тобто це дійсно те, що не було раніше, в моєму досвіді психотерапевтичному.
So Bogdana is saying that she can leave the link to her website in our chat, and she has some experience in EMDR and in Vienna's School of Trauma Therapy. And I feel like I can now quickly check if Bogdana filled in the type form form for therapists. So that will be maybe the easiest option. Kosha, what do you think?
Yeah, great. Thank you, Daria. And thank you, Bogdana. Thank you very much. We look forward to learning more from you and about you and to welcoming you. I also just want to say there is definitely different possibilities of participating in this project. And Victoria, you just also asked, is it possible to watch videos from the leadership, the trauma-informed leadership training? What a brilliant idea. We never thought of that, but there is no problem to do that. The scholarship application is still open, so we could send out that application form to all of you. You can just sign up there and we can offer you all free access to all the recordings from the training, which are in Ukrainian. And I think it will be so helpful for you to watch that. Even if you can't watch everything, but at least watch a few sessions also with Thomas Hübel, but also some of the other. And, there's also some of the basic meditations that Thomas did with us. So this will be wonderful. And we'd be delighted to offer you access to this. So this is why we need you here to teach us. Thank you, Victoria. Brilliant question. And before we go to you, Susanna, I just see one question from Marije, who says, it is not yet clear to me who are our potential clients. Well, the clients for the one-on-one session, Marije, you speak English. So we saw that there are both a lot of, the clients are Ukrainians, Ukrainian refugees anywhere in the world, or Ukrainians in the Ukraine who are needing or who are wishing for support. Another group of clients are people who are supporting Ukrainians in whatever way. The definition of that is up to them, but who are voluntarily supporting Ukrainians and who feel that they need support. So you might be working with someone from Holland, because I know you are from Holland, who is supporting Ukrainian refugees in Holland. Yeah? Or you might be working with a Ukrainian who is in Germany and wants some support from somebody who can speak English. You might also be doing a session for somebody who needs translation from English to Ukrainian to be able to work with you. And even that is possible. Yeah, thank you. And then Susanna, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. My question is, do you expect that we will have one-time sessions with a person, or will there be a sequence of appointments with one person?
Yeah, we've been thinking about that, and we said last time what we cannot imagine is one person having like 10 sessions with one therapist. It's like, it's not an in-depth therapeutic journey that we can offer. There's nothing really, but there's nothing, you could have 3 sessions, or we're also now just speaking because the first project is really from now to the end of December. And we will need to see whether it is possible and appropriate to continue the project beyond that. But for now, it's this session. So I assume in that time that you wouldn't have more than 3 or at the most 4 sessions with one person. Yeah. There's nothing speaking against you having 4 sessions with one person. And it really depends also, we have the needs assessment, but we haven't even yet published, here, come. We have this offering for you. We are gifting you with support, come. So we don't know how many people will sign up. It could be hundreds. It could be only 20. I don't think it will be only 20 though. I don't think that. So it really depends on us also, the kind of magnetism and love and energy that we create together. Yeah.
Yeah, good to know. Thank you. And then maybe another question about the application. Can I apply again? Because I did it already, but there was just the documents asked, and then I sent my documents, but not the CV. Yeah.
Yes, of course you can. Please do it again. And, I think that's something that we really need to also think of, Daria, as we look through, that we can also always write back to you. Susanna, for you, I know you deeply. We know you, so you don't even have to do it. But if we have a question to you, we can also come back to you. Okay? Yeah. So I don't even think you need to do that. Yeah?
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? So maybe this is good for now. I am very, very happy to let you all know that we will have a first supervision session with Thomas, where he will speak to everybody who's involved as volunteer or therapist in whatever form in this project, which will be on the 3rd of November at 2 p.m. CET, 2 p.m. Berlin, 3 p.m. Kiev. So 3rd November, 2 p.m. Berlin, 3 p.m. Kiev. And we will, of course, record that, but it would also be wonderful if you could be there in person, if that's possible for you to arrange. And also, we have just heard, so we were going to have a global social witnessing call on Monday with Spozme, who's a dear friend of the Pocket Project from Afghanistan. And Spozme has let us know that she has fallen ill and is not able to be with us on Monday. So we're going to shift that. The Monday call, this is coming Monday, the 24th of October, at the same time as today, 9 o'clock Kiev, 8 o'clock Berlin. We'll have a global social witnessing call about the situation in Ukraine, but also maybe about this project in some way, which will be open to the public. So it will also be a first time where we announce to the public what we are planning, what we are doing, and we really want to welcome you to be part of that call. So that's just a warm invitation to you, and we want to let you know. Also, if you know anyone who might be interested in support, in joining on whatever level, to let them know. Yeah. I think those are the most important announcements from us. And, you know, you'll become part of our list. So we will send emails to you. You will receive an email also with the guidelines and more information in the coming days. Yeah. Daria, anything else?
Just gratitude. I feel like you've said almost everything that is important, so not to overwhelm. We will send all the important information in the follow-up email. So yeah, don't be scared to lose some dates or something. We will send it back to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you again for being here. It means a lot to us. Yeah. Yeah, and I think what we did today is also a habit that we would like to repeat, that we keep calls even shorter than announced. It's very lovely. And it gives us all more sleep and more rest and more time to be. So we wish you all a safe, calm time to be now after this call. Much love.